Welcome back to the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley bringing you a matchup between the Red Sox and the Wareham Gatemen, the first time these two teams are playing this season on a rainy and cloudy day here at Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Yesterday was kind of a day to forget for both of these teams. Wareham fell 12-2 against Falmouth, and YD tied the all-time Cape Cod record for most errors in a game in their loss to Bourne, which really was closer than it should have been. The final score in that one was 6-3. So coming into today, we know that defense is something Coach Pickler is really stressing to his team.
Yeah, through the first couple of games of the season, defense was a little bit of an issue, but it was a 2-3 errors per game type of issue, not the implosion that we saw last night with those 6 errors. Shout out Chris Toms, the director of scorekeeping for the CCBL, who confirmed to us that those 6 errors did indeed tie the all-time record. It was initially scored as 8, and then a couple of them got reviewed and taken down, and were turned into hits, but 6 errors still tying the all-time Cape League record. Coach Pick was not happy yesterday. I think that's evident when you see a lot of changes in this YD lineup.
Absolutely, Luke. Today is the first day since he arrived on the Cape that we do not have Hunter Hines in the lineup. Now, he did commit an error yesterday, but also has been in kind of a slump at the plate. He ended up with a 1 double on the ground that just snuck through up the first base line, a hard hit grounder. But other than that, it's been about 3 games since Hines has really made an impact at the plate. So the lineup today for the Red Sox, going top to bottom, is R.J. Austin leading off. He had a very good day yesterday at the plate in his first game for the Red Sox. Did have 1 error in the field. Following that up, Xander Darby and Max Vieira, who has been the best member of the Red Sox at the plate and one of the best hitters in the Cape so far this season. Anthony Martinez in the cleanup spot. Then Will King, Casey Cook, Dub Gleed, Brady Day, and Enzo Apodaca out of Gonzaga to close things out. But right now, it's Wareham starting things off with Smith Pinson on the mound. This is his 3rd start already for the Red Sox. Had a pretty solid outing last time, has become a regular member of this starting rotation. And he will be facing Nick McLean, Sebastian Murillo, and Brett Wikrowski, the catcher, starting things off today.
It's a big get-right day for YD. Dropped a couple of games in a row now against Chatham, and now yesterday against Bourne. Both of them, you feel like you could have done a lot of things better. The offense wasn't clicking a couple of nights ago. It was fine yesterday, but the defensive side of things was what flipped around for the Red Sox. Just looking to turn things around in front of this home crowd that has braved a bit of a mist, some sprinkling rain throughout the day as we led up to this game.
I actually put the wrong player in my lineup on my scorebook. It's Ryan Campos behind the plate. He is the catcher for the day, but right now Nick McLean will face the first pitch of the day. Clips the outside corner for strike 1. This one chopped foul up the first baseline. Gleed had it in his glove. Dub Gleed making his debut at first base today. Played at 3rd and 2nd yesterday. There were a lot of defensive changes.
Not a super big guy either for a first baseman, just 6'1".
The 0-2 high for ball 1. Infield backed up, the 1-2. Swung through and missed. Smith Pinson strikes out the first batter he faces, and the Red Sox will toss this one around the horn. To start things off, Sebastian Murillo, the designated hitter, up at the plate. He's a righty. Very different from what Coach Pickler has really brought out so far this season, which is a very lefty-heavy batting lineup. Murillo holds off on the first pitch, and it's a breaking ball over the plate that drops in for strike 1.
And I think that we'll talk a little more about it later, but that lefty-heavy lineup's going to have a field day against this Wareham pitching staff.
Hit well out towards left field. And Apodaca is there, calls off R.J. Austin, who was charging over as well. Apodaca back in the lineup. He has really been a bright spot defensively for YD, one of few. He's made some incredible plays in the field. I don't think he has an error yet this season, so there's definitely a reason why he's back out there in center field today. Brings up Ryan Campos, who holds off on ball one. That one, an almost identical pitch to the curveball that was called a strike for Murillo, just slightly above. This one, however, sneaks in there for strike one. Count evens up 1-1. Campos plays at Arizona State, a Sun Devil. Count runs 2-1. He was a first-team All-Pac-12 selection despite missing 11 games due to injury. Was a very solid defender behind the plate as well. Swings at this one, but it's foul barehanded in that on-deck circle by Bobby Bozer. So it counts even 2-2. However, Campos was also a Buster Posey National Catcher of the Year semifinalist. The 2-2 missed, but chopped slowly off the middle, fouled off his foot, however. So the count remains 2-2.
Have to give the obligatory shout out. It's the second time we've talked about the Buster Posey National Catcher of the Year semifinalist. That, of course, that award is named after the great former YD Red Sox catcher Buster Posey, great San Francisco Giant.
And it should be noted that pregame, the Wareham bus actually broke down. The 2-2 misses high and the count runs full. So Wareham only arrived at the field about 20 minutes ago. They did not get to run through batting practice or really any infield practice. Payoff on the way, swung sharply up towards second, and Day makes the grab on the liner. It's a 1-2-3 inning to start things off for the Red Sox. We head to the bottom of the first.
What were we at before? Do like 4-3, 4-2. All right, ready?
RJ Austin at the plate for the bottom of the first, leading things off for YD. He was in the middle of the lineup yesterday, but after his very good day at the plate was moved up to the leadoff spot, and he watches a strike down the pipe. It's a fastball from Casey Talent, who's on the bump for the Gatemen. The Gatemen bullpen is heavily right-handed. This one fouled back sharply into the fence.
Yeah, just two lefties on this entire staff for the Gatemen under first-year skipper Ryan Smith.
The 0-2 on the way. This one lined up towards first on the ground, picked up by Hussey, and the play is made, out number 1 for the Gatemen.
Next up, out of UC Santa Barbara, number 12, Xander Darby.
That was just grounded straight up the first baseline, but could not sneak past the glove of Hussey. This is Xander Darby. He had a hit late in the game yesterday. And watches strike 1 low in the zone. Darby out of UCSB grounds this one up the middle. Ricochets off Talent. Darby trying to beat it out. And he does. Gonzalez at third ended up picking up the ball, but he really had no play on that. Just an unfortunate bounce. It was headed right toward Talent's feet. Tried to get a glove on it. Ball bounced off, and the Red Sox have the first base runner of the game. That one scored as a hit. It would be unfortunate if it wasn't. That was really a tough play to make for Talent on the mound. Vieira was not in the starting lineup yesterday. He has returned today. We did see him as a pinch hitter for 2 at-bats. He was 0 for 2. Takes strike 1 here, but Vieira out of Seton Hall, a first-team All-Big East selection, has batted almost 500, 447 coming into today. Holds off on ball 1. Darby, not a huge lead from him over at first. Coach Pickler is typically aggressive in the base paths. Talent staring him down. Now kicks and deals. Low, ball 2. Talent checks the runner at first. Darby looks ready to go. Counts 2-1 with 1 out. Bottom of the first. And ball 3 misses outside. Darby was 8 for 12 on stolen base attempts at UCSB this season. He's quite tall, has a lot of length. Runner goes. Fouled back by Vieira into the fence. A classic hit and run situation, but the hit does not come. That likely would have been ball 4. Instead, Darby back on first. Vieira now has a full count. His toes are on the back of that box. He's standing in about the middle, widthwise, wiggling that bat. Runner goes again outside, ball 4. So Darby advances on the walk. No chance to take another on a passed ball. And Vieira on first for Anthony Martinez, who has been a double machine. Pretty much only hits line drives. It just depends where he's placing them, if they're caught or not. But Martinez has a lot of power in that bat. Holds off on strike 1, was cutting inside.
And Martinez might be analytically the unluckiest player in the Cape League, hitting .214 coming into this one. He's second in the league in expected batting average, only behind his teammate Max Vieira. Analytics say he should be hitting .430 right now.
This one lined up the middle, out towards center field, and it's caught. No chance to tag out. An advance from Darby, so 2 outs on, and that's a hit that proves our point, Luke. A very hard hit ball. That one actually slightly more popped up than we're used to seeing. Martinez usually hits it right on a rope, but it just popped up straight to Stevenson out in center. He barely even had to move.
Yep, hit it right at him. For those aware that expected batting average, it's based off the TrackMan, takes into account exit velocity, launch angle, variety of other factors.
Ball 1 to Will King.
But yeah, I mean, that is extraordinarily rare for people who follow things like Fangraphs and MLB analytics to be hitting over 200 points worse than what your expected batting average is. The sample size, granted, isn't huge, but still.
Big leads. King pops this one up towards right field, heading over. Stevenson calls off. McLean makes the grab for the 3rd out of the inning. The Red Sox strand 2. It's 0-0 as we head to the top of the 2nd at Red Wilson Field. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the
All right, ready?
the plate, and Smith Pinson on the bump to face off against Bobby Bozer as Wareham comes up for their 2nd time around after a 1-2-3 first. Infield regular. Bozer holds off on ball 1. That drops low. Bozer was a first-team All-AAC selection out of South Florida this season. The curveball from Pinson clips the outside of the zone. Count even 1-1. Strike 2, clips that bottom again. Counts 1-2 to Bozer. We have yet to see him swing the bat. Haven't seen the shift put on in the infield today. Ball 2 in the dirt. The count evens up. Bozer led South Florida in home runs, slugging, on-base percentage, and total bases this season. Just their best producer across the board. The 2-2 misses just high, and the count runs full. Payoff. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Bozer was halfway up the line to first, but that one just dropped in at the last minute. Beautiful vertical movement from Smith Pinson, and he gets his 2nd strikeout of the day.
Pinson's really going to that breaking ball up often. It's a nice strikeout pitch, just froze Bozer that time. He's been resorting to it here quite often early.
Bows are now 4 for 29 in this early part of the Cape season. Hussey offers at the first pitch, fouls it towards the YD dugout. He's batting .333 coming into today, but that's just 1 for 3. Only one appearance from him so far. Check swing, called strike 2. Quickly down in the count. 1 out, top of the second. And that's on the outside for ball 1. Was trying to make him chase, but just missed the plate by a little too much to make it realistic. Hussey plays at West Virginia. Takes ball 2 high, and the count is even, 2-2. Just finished up his sophomore year there. He's a West Virginia native out of Parkersburg. The 2-2 from Pinson. Drops in there for a strike 3. Hussey turned around and started walking back to the dugout before the call was even made by the umpire. He watched that one go with regret, and Smith Pinson rings up 2 to start off the inning.
And it's another breaking ball that just froze a hitter. Wareham looks a little bit lost right now against that pitch for Pinson. Still the first time through the lineup, so plenty of time to adjust.
Garen Caulfield holds off on ball 1. Caulfield plays for Arizona, the Wildcats. Bloops this one towards right field. It's going to drop. That's a base hit. Hits the ground in front of Casey Cook out there. And the Gatemen have a runner aboard.
Defensive looking swing there, just chopped at the ball, but sometimes that's all you need, and that can break open the gates a little bit for a Wareham team that has had 3 strikeouts through the first 5 hitters. Now they've got a man aboard here with 2 gone.
Brings up Zach Stewart, the left fielder, batting in the 7th spot. So Pinson will not face the minimum for the 2nd inning in a row. This one at the shoulders, ball 1. Stewart was the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year at Missouri State. This one, soft contact, miss hit. Pinson has it at first, out of the slot over to first. Dug out by Dob Gleed, and he makes the play. An unbelievably athletic play from Smith Pinson. Stewart just missed on the contact. It dribbled up as if it was a bunt. Pinson reacts quickly, throws almost underhand from across the diamond over to Gleed at first, who makes the scoop, and that brings us to the bottom of the 2nd. An exciting way to end the inning. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Yep.
Casey Cook, the right fielder, up to start things off for the Red Sox after a very exciting end to the on the mound doing his part. Cook takes strike one, hits the bottom of the zone from Talent. The North Carolina outfielder takes strike two and is quickly down in the count, 0-2. Casey Talent plays at Clemson, had a 3.43 ERA this season, 16 appearances. Cook check swing, did not go, ball one. Talent only had one start for Clemson. Pitched 21 innings, mostly in relief. Cook swings through on the ball outside and misses, strikeout for Talent. He wanted him to chase, and he did.
Talent just looking to settle in a little bit after that first inning. Got a couple of flyouts. YD hit him up pretty well, but got out of it scoreless, and now here in the second gets that strikeout. Confidence starting to increase for this Wareham starter.
Dub Gleed swings at the first one up the third base line, but foul towards the bullpen. Barehanded out there by one of the bullpen catchers. YD sporting some matching gray sweatshirts that they brought out for this chilly, rainy day in the dugout. Pretty cool. They have a home plate on the front. The 0-1 is outside for ball one. Gleed playing at first base today. We only saw him in the middle infield yesterday. And ball two misses just above the zone. Was sinking slightly, but did not sink enough. Talent finished up his sophomore year, a native of Hartwell, Georgia. The 2-1. Gleed holds off, called strike two. The count is 2-2 to the infielder out of UC Irvine. Holds off on the ball outside, and the count is full. We've already seen quite a few of those today. Gleed was a second-team All-Big West selection this season as an anteater at UC Irvine. Pops this one up to the shallow infield, going into foul territory. Hussey underneath it makes the grab, and that's out number two. Gleed just missed underneath. That ball was absolutely skied. Didn't travel very far into foul territory. A routine catch from Hussey. And it's Brady Day batting in the 8th spot. Another strike one, just clips the bottom of that zone. That seems to be the pitch that Talent is going to here first. It's kind of a fastball right at the knees. Day swings at this one hard back into the backstop, foul. Day plays at Kansas State, was a redshirt sophomore. Offers out a ball on the outside, strike three. And Talent gets two in the inning on that exact same pitch that was identical to how Casey Cook went down. An uneventful second brings us to the top of the third. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Gatemen when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Gonzalez out of the University of Miami down there in Florida, not Ohio, as I have to clarify. My partner, Luke West Poley, goes to Miami University. The U is in the different place there in Ohio. Gonzalez takes ball 1. A little bit of a shift on towards the right, and strike 2 finds the outside of the zone. Gonzalez had a very inspirational story. His father played at Miami when he was young, baseball, in the late 90s. Strike 2 finds the exact same place, counts 1 and 2. Grew up, his best friend's father was a pitching coach on Miami. The two of them dreamed about playing baseball at Miami together. Pinson deals the 1-2, fouled out of play. Very tragically, Gonzalez's best friend, Ari Artiega, passed away in a car accident. So Gonzalez plays in his honor at Miami, where the two of them dreamed of playing together. J.D. Artiega, the pitching coach, still at Miami, says it's like watching one of his own sons play on the field. Counts 2 and 2. Infield shifted to the right. Ball 3 misses low. Gonzalez showing patience at the plate. One hit apiece, bagels across the board in the top of the third between the Gatemen and the Red Sox. And ball 4 misses outside. Gonzalez takes a base.
Couple of near misses there for Pinson. Good eye by Gonzalez. But he's looked very strong to start each of these first couple of innings. It's the first time he's put a leadoff man on. Let's see how he deals with it.
Stevenson in the 9th spot, looking to turn things over with no outs. Josh Stevenson shows bunt, lays it down the third baseline. Pinson slips on the wet grass, and there's no play at first. Darby picked it up but couldn't beat out the runner on first, and that's the danger on a rainy day like today. That grass so slippery. Pinson hit the deck hard. But Josh Stevenson, who laid down that really beautiful bunt before we even had a chance to introduce him, was on the lineup at LSU, recently entered the transfer portal. So even though LSU is playing actually tonight in the College World Series, Stevenson is here on the Cape looking to showcase his talents and attract a new team. He takes lead at first, as does Gonzalez. And that one hits McLean in the head, right in the helmet. That's gotta hurt. Pinson just missed, and the bases are loaded with no outs for the Gatemen as Sebastian Murillo comes up for his second time around.
That might have been a product of rain there, the wet air. Pinson's been going to that rosin bag a lot, and you can understand why. With the type of rain that this is, it's not the more normal rain that falls in these big droplets. It's more of a mist that kind of sticks to everything. It might have gotten on his hand there and just kind of slipped the ball out.
Luke said it perfectly. It just feels like the air is wet. Pitch on the way. Strike 1 to Murillo, the designated hitter. 0 for 1 today. Had a fly out in his first at-bat. Previously of Long Beach State, spent the 2023 season as a Georgia Bulldog, native of Huntington Beach, California. The 0-1 from Pinson. Clips the outside of the zone, counts 0-2. Bases loaded, nothing across the board, but the Gatemen have a real chance here with no outs. Murillo's down 0-2. What will Smith Pinson go to? And it's outside for ball 1.
You're absolutely fine with that, especially with the bases loaded. Do not hang something over the plate that's hittable in an 0-2 count.
The infield is regular. Still backed up to the outfield grass. They're not playing in. This one popped up into the air in a shallow foul territory, but no play on it is available. So Murillo stays alive. That one looked like it was heading closer to the foul line than it actually did. Actually ended up behind the bleachers over on the right side. Cook started a little jog that way and gave up shortly after. Not going to waste your energy on something you have no chance at. Count still 1-2 to Sebastian Murillo. Bases loaded. Pinson deals, swings through and miss. A strikeout for Pinson, and he's starting to work himself out of the jam. He collects out number 1.
Yeah, I was really interested to see how Pinson would go after that at bat. He's a guy that during his college season, he only walked 7 hitters. He's not necessarily used to being in these jams with bases loaded, nobody out type situations, but he looked ever confident in that at bat, really commanded well.
Back to Ryan Campos. He lined out to second. Brady Day caught that in his first at bat. It was a hard hit ball, but Day was just right there. No shift on. First pitch. Pick off back towards third. Did not get him, but it was certainly close. A throw on the money from Will King. Snap throw to third. But the ball back in Pinson's hand now. And the runners take their leads. It's a ball and no strikes to Campos. Small leads around the horn from Gonzalez on third, Stevenson on second, and McLean on first. The 1-0 fouled out of play. Count evens up 1-1. Smith Pinson plays at Kennesaw State University. Counts 1-1, 1 out. The 1-1 on the way, misses outside for ball 2. As you said before, Luke, it seems like Pinson is erring on the side of caution here. Would rather take a ball, especially in a count that's early with just 1 ball in that situation. Not really going for the heart of that strike zone right now.
I think that's the last pitch where he has to go. He can go around the zone, though. Now with 2 balls, I think you got to attack.
This one lined up towards second. Day has it. Throws it over, gets the runner at second. So there's runners on the corners, but one comes across the plate to score, and the Gatemen take the early lead. It's 1-0 Wareham.
On dry day, maybe that's a double play, but not a ball that was hit really hard. Good on Brady Day to even get the runner at second there. Looked like he might only have a play to first, but was able to at least get the runner that was heading to scoring position. And now Smith Pinson in a position to try and limit this damage.
A dangerous call from Day to get the runner at second as opposed to first. It works out for him, but it was a close play. Now runners on the corners and 2 outs to Bobby Bozer, who takes ball 1. Bozer batted .323 for the South Florida Bulls. A Florida native. Pinson snapped her over to first, not in time. There's a few fans out here braving the conditions on this chilly, rainy Thursday evening. The 1-0 fouled off his foot, counts even 1-1.
It's a good pitch to hit if you can wait back on that and time that up right there from Bozer. He recognized that that pitch was coming into the strike zone and it was a breaking ball, but he was just a little bit out in front of it, just topped it.
Small lead from Campos on first. Instead, a snap throw over to third. Runner goes on second and slides in safely. A pitch wasn't even thrown, and Campos took second.
Yeah, Pinson threw to third, and YD could have had him picked off, but Darby's throw up to second to Brady Day was a little too high. It was an unfortunate break there that Pinson decided to throw to third there, and that was what eventually allowed the runner to get into scoring position.
Takes the force at second out of play. Count still 1-1 to Bobby Bozer. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Pinson kicks and deals. Outside, King can't frame it up. Counts 2-1. The Red Sox trying to limit the damage. The Gatemen lead 1-0. Top of the third, swung through and missed, strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2s across the board for Bobby Bozer with 2 runners aboard. It's Grant Hussey on deck, the first baseman if it gets there. There is a free base for Pinson in the case of a walk. Pitch on the way. Just missed and snuck in there on the outside corner for another strike 3. So Pinson faces a bases loaded, no out situation, only lets 1 come across. Not a bad outcome for that situation. We head to the bottom of the third. The Red Sox try to get it back. It's 9-1-2 when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Bottom of the third, and it's number 3 at the plate. That's Enzo Apodaca, who has been a fixture in the lineup for the Red Sox. Facing a normal infield and takes ball 1 low. Apodaca plays at Gonzaga. Also the Bulldogs. Playing in center field today. We've seen him all over the outfield. Second ball misses low. Apodaca yet to swing, counts 2-0. Pitch on the way from Talent. This one lined into right field and into the glove of Nick McLean. The outfield was not playing very deep. The corners were pinched in slightly, so in a different situation that one might have dropped, but not today. McLean makes the grab for out number 1.
Very humid. Balls are not going to fly super far today. They were during YD batting practice, which was before the rain came in, but not anymore.
RJ Austin takes strike 1 outside, and YD has flipped the lineup for the first time.
It's a Wareham pitching staff that is one of the best at not giving up home runs. And it's not because they just play a lot of games in big ballparks. They're one of the best offenses at hitting home runs on the flip side. So
Austin holds off on one close to the corner, counts 2-1. Came into today 2 for 4. That was all in his first appearance yesterday at Doran Park versus the Bourne Braves. That one misses inside and high, ball 3, counts 3-1 with an out. RJ Austin trying to start things off on board. We already saw him steal a base yesterday and display some speed. And it was a base stolen from second to third. Offers at this one, but misses big, and the count runs full. Austin is an infielder by training. Yesterday was moved to the outfield. Swings at this one, grounded up the middle, and it gets through for a base hit. Sneaks through that 3-4 hole. Just a hard hit ball on the ground, straight through the gap, and Austin's aboard.
he is just such a good, pure hitter. It's not launch angle, it's not super flashy, but we saw it yesterday. He just gets hits. If it's sneaking the ball on the ground through the infield, just throwing your hands at stuff. I mean, he is just phenomenal at getting on base, you can tell.
Darby 1 for 1, his first hit. Grounded up the middle, deflected off the glove of Talent, and he beat out what ended up really being no play on that because of that deflection. Take strike 1 here. Low in the zone once again. That's where Talent seems to really like to start off these at-bats. Darby fitted out as he usually is in the royal blue elbow guards, shin guards. Swings through this one, a throw down to second. Austin bluffed but did not go. He's back on first.
Fooled him.
Count is 0-2 to Xander Darby with 1 out on the board, and the Gatemen lead 1-0 after 2.5 here at the bottom of the third. Austin ready to jump. Darby about to play defense. Holds off just outside. That's the pitch that sent 2 other of his YD teammates back to the dugout, but this time he holds off. Learned from his teammates' mistakes on that strikeout pitch from Talent. Counts 1-2, snap throw to first, not in time. I imagine these YD white uniforms will be quite muddy by the end of the day. Austin bluffs again, ball in the dirt. This time he goes. And an incredible tag is put on by Bobby Bozer. The throw was nowhere close to the bag from Campos behind the plate, but Bozer jumps up in the air, grabs it, and puts on the tag behind the back. A no-look tag snags the foot of Austin. So he's now 1 for 2 on stolen bases, and Bozer erases the base runner just as quickly as he was on. Counts 2-2. Darby swings through and misses, and that ends the inning in just 1 pitch. There was 1 out. Now there's 3. We head to the top of the 4th. The Gatemen still lead 1-0. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.
Top of the fourth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke Gatemen in the first battle from this division, and YD out of the East. Grand Hussey, West Virginia Mountaineer leads off for the Gatemen after they loaded the bases with nobody out in the last inning, and Smith Pinson worked his way through, giving up just one run. Pinson's first delivery home slides onto the inside half for strike one. YD is running that shift with 3 on the right side, 1 on the left, playing in on the grass in case of the bunt. Now the 0-1 on the way. Below the zone and can't be framed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hussey readying up, righty on lefty. The pitch high at the shoulders. 2-1. Just 1 for 3, limited at bats so far this season. As now the 2-1 on the way. Wrapped over towards first, waiting on it. It's picked up by Gleed. He'll take it himself, gives the stop sign to Pinson, steps on the bag, 1 out.
Gleed really took his time getting over to that base.
He did.
Made it a little closer than it needed to be. But regardless, Grant Hussey is the first man down.
Garrett Caulfield, the Arizona Wildcat, standing in. And he takes a first pitch strike that falls right down the chute. Smith Pinson has really had that breaking ball with its vertical drop on it working for him throughout this game. 1 run off 2 hits so far for Wareham. Swing and a miss on the 0-1.
The interesting thing about Caulfield is that he did spend 2 years at a junior college, San Joaquin Delta College, but didn't play any baseball because that was when COVID happened.
Here comes the 0-2. Bounces in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ended up bouncing up to a Power 5 program, and a good one at that at Arizona that made the tournament this year. This is his first game of the season for Wareham. Native of Sacramento, California. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. No, foul tip. Just got a piece of it as it squirted between the legs of Will King, and we'll do it again at 1-2. Top of the fourth in a 1-0 game. Gatemen on top. Gray sweatshirts in the YD dugout. Lots of umbrellas dotting around the grass here at Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. 1-2. Drops low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm not even sure that umbrellas would help in this weather. I feel like this water and mist is just everywhere. It's not coming down hard. Certainly nothing that would stop the game. It's just unpleasant.
2-2 on the way. Chopper up the middle, coming over from short. Vieira stepped in front of by day 1 hopper to first, and it's in time. Nice stretch by Gleed on the back end. And 2 up, 2 down for the Gatemen here in the fourth.
Now there's the defense that Coach Pickler is looking for. He said after the game yesterday that he just felt like some of his players weren't really trying on defense. That one was an absolute hustle play, and another nice dig out from Gleed over at first.
Zach Stewart takes a first pitch in on the hands for ball 1. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Mentioned his fantastic season for Missouri State, freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley. Rips this one foul to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Hitting 190 here on the Cape this season. He's ranked the 44th incoming freshman in the nation according to Perfect Game. Pinson with a long hold before the 1-1. Here it comes. And it misses outside. 2 balls and a strike from nearby Lebanon, Missouri. So elected to stay at home, and if anyone's familiar with the facilities they've got at Missouri State, they are top-notch. Lined out to center field, Apodaca coming in, makes the catch right next to the ground, and that retires the side in the fourth. Gatemen go quietly, top 4, 1-2-3. Wareham goes down as we head to the bottom of the inning. It's still 1-0. The Red Sox trail. Back in a moment. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the fourth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley, Joe Kitei on this cool and misty day from South Yarmouth on this Thursday evening. Max Vieira digging in, the right-hander. First pitch to him on the way. And he swings and lifts this one out to shallow center field. R.J. Austin coming in, or rather Zach Stewart. That ball's going to drop in for a base hit. That was Stewart who lost his hat. And that ball dropped just in front of him, a ball that got kicked down. Looked like it was going to end up in a glove, but just finished in the shallow outfield. And Vieira's aboard for the second time, his first hit.
I think we've seen a lot of balls carry further than we thought they would. That one definitely dropped shorter than I thought it would. I thought it was a routine fly out to the left fielder. Instead, it's a base hit, just kind of blooped over the infield. The Red Sox, a lead runner aboard.
Martinez, the lefty, facing off against the pitcher, and Talent deals it in, and he rips it into right field for a base hit.
Vieira jumped out of the way on that one. He stood in place, literally leapt over the ball, and then started his run to second.
And so that is what the analytics that we referred to a few innings ago are saying probably should be happening more often than they are right now. A hard hit ball turns into a base hit for Anthony Martinez. First and second, nobody out for Will King. Laid down a perfect bunt in batting practice. I wonder if we'll see it here. Third base in beneath the bag. He pulls back the bunt, and the pitch misses outside for ball one.
Reading Coach Pickler's mind over here. I don't think we've seen Will King attempt a bunt yet.
Choked way up on that bat that's a little shorter than most of the rest of the guys on this team. Carries a lot of pop along with it. Pushes the bunt up the first base line, foul.
That one likely would have been ball two, but just really anxious to lay this one down, put it in play, and try to advance his teammates.
He's got Casey Cook and then Dub Gleed behind him. First base now coming in. Hussey's on the grass for Wareham. Check on the runner over at second. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Will King. The pitch. King gets it down. No, foul ball. Just trickles behind home plate, and it's 1-2, so he may have to go swinging here. King, another member of the top 10 in expected batting average in the league. Mentioned Vieira and Martinez. He is the lone other guy for YD. 7th place in the league, over 350. And is also hitting over 350 this season at 357 coming into this game.
It's his 11th appearance already.
Takes the 1-2 outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield has shifted pretty heavily on him to the opposite field. Over there in center, Josh Stevenson is pretty aggressively shadowed towards right center. Count even 2-2 with nobody out. Talent's pitch. Jammer over to second. Leaping up, it gets over the head of Caulfield and into right. Stop sign put up. Martinez has to hustle to get into second, make sure there's no force, but he is there safely. And station to station they go. Will King with another single. That's 3 straight for YD, and they've got the bases loaded with nobody out for Casey Cook.
This inning just feels like the karma is on YD's side. I thought that one would end up in the infield and just inches above the glove of Caulfield, similarly to Vieira's hit that dropped just in front of Stewart. I mean, Martinez was earned on his own. That one was cracked. But right now, YD has really flipped the script, and they have the bases loaded with no outs.
So this will cause an infield meeting, just a conversation for now for Wareham. Casey Cook is up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout for YD. Talent so far has gone 3 innings, yet to record an out here in the 4th. No runs yet off 5 hits. And as the meeting breaks up, the UNC Tar Heel, Casey Cook, into the batter's box. Rocking the Carolina blue on the cleats. And he steps in, righty on lefty, with the bases juiced and nobody out. His team down 1 in the 4th. First offering on the way. Swing and a chopper towards the mound. Flip comes to home. It's in time. Throw to first is not. But Wareham, with the heads-up play defensively, gets the lead runner and prevents the run from scoring. So Vieira put out at home. Cook reaches on the fielder's choice. King to second, Martinez to third, and now Dub Gleed at the plate. Double play could end the inning. Bases still loaded with 1 out.
That one just an unfortunate mishit from Cook. He topped it, bounced it really shallow into that infield. Not very much a hard play for Talent to come in, beat the runner by quite a bit on the force out at the plate, especially not even having to put that tag on. Vieira had no chance at that.
Dub Gleed popped out to first base in foul territory his first time up. Takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Sweeping offering that was not close enough to draw a swing. Gleed got pinch hit for yesterday. He's been in the 9 slot pretty often for Scott Pickler's team. He's been moved up in the lineup to the 7 hole today. 1-0 pitch. This ball is blasted really high out towards left field. Stewart coming over towards the line pretty deep, has the room, makes the catch. Martinez tagging from third, and Wareham will let him score as the throw is cut off. The big man hustles down the line to tie the game at 1. It's a sac fly for Dub Gleed. And it's a 1-1 ball game with 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
So even Martinez, who is one of the sturdier built guys on the team, not really one of the faster ones, beat that one out to home very safely. Wareham didn't even make a play at it, and this game is tied at 1.
Couple times he had to hustle on the base paths, also had to from first to second. Brady Day now at the plate for YD, struck out swinging his first time up. Takes the first pitch down and in for ball 1. Day hitting 179, has appeared in a lot of games. He's one of those guys that you feel this coaching staff believes in, just waiting on that breakout. Got the day off yesterday. Flares this one foul to even the count 1-1. Day straps up the gloves. Yep. Top of the 5th inning here from Red Wilson Field, and our score 1-1 between YD and the Wareham Gatemen. Luke West Poley, Perri, Kitei alongside. Smith Pinson returning to the bump for the Red Sox. First pitch to Dorian Gonzalez, swung on and missed for strike 1.
This is Gonzalez's 6th appearance in a game for the Gatemen. Coming into today, it was 3 for 15. That's good for a 200 batting average.
0-1 lifted out into the gap in left center. 2 players racing back. This is going to drop between them. RJ Austin will scoop it off the wall. Gonzalez into second. He'll stop there. And it's a leadoff double for the Gatemen to begin the 5th.
First extra base hit we've seen on the day, and it was absolutely crushed to the gap, bounced just in front of the fence. Pretty much on a line, a slight bit of pop to that, but a very hard hit ball from Dorian Gonzalez.
So the go-ahead run into scoring position for Wareham immediately after this game was tied in the bottom of the 4th. Josh Stevenson striding in. Base hit for him in the third. He's 1 for 1. Knee lift and a throwback towards second base. Mentioned Stevenson being at LSU, currently in the transfer portal. His brother was an All-American for the Tigers between 2013 and 2015, currently playing for the Washington Nationals. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, and takes a pitch up high for ball 1. Comes from an athletic family, as many of these talented players in this league do. His brother, Will, his other brother, also Division I athlete at Louisiana Lafayette, where he played football for 2 seasons. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Both corners in for YD. Goes swinging, pops it up into foul territory, trotting over on it. Darby runs into his dugout. That one gets out of play.
Our writer, Ben Strober, put up a hand to try to grab that one out of the air, but was unsuccessful, and he's left it to the kids, I'm sure, on purpose.
Ben has acted like he's going to pursue a lot of baseballs this year, but I don't think he has actually run one down yet. One pitch on the way. The bunt is squared. It's put down foul up the first base side to make it 1-2. We talk about Ben's shenanigans we see in the dugout a lot just because we think it's funny and he's our roommate, but Ben does do very good work. Broke the news earlier today that Sawyer Hawks was transferring, member of this YD pitching staff. He's going to Vanderbilt next year after spending a couple seasons at the Air Force Academy. Congratulations to Sawyer. Also wrote a really good piece on the guy who's on the bump right now in Smith Pinson. That's worth the read on our website if you got the time. Throw back towards second base to check on the runner. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Josh Stevenson.
And now Hawks gets to meet up with one of his teammates, RJ Austin, in the YD dugout. Work on that teammate relationship, get a little head start.
One, 2 on the way. This is outside for ball 2.
Hawks was deciding at the end between Vanderbilt and Mississippi State. Hunter Hines out of Mississippi State is in the dugout. Apparently tried his best to convince Hawks to choose Mississippi State, but at the end was unsuccessful. And he will become one of the Vandy boys.
Couple of great programs. Both have won national championships in recent memory. 2-2 to Stevenson. Lined out towards right center field. This is going to split the gap and get to the wall. Rounding third, Gonzalez scores. And it looked like Stevenson might turn for 3. Instead, he halts at second base. But it's back-to-back doubles for the Gatemen, who retake the lead in the top of the 5th inning. It's 2-1.
That one just sprayed to the opposite gap of Gonzalez's. He scores from second. Both of them hard liners, one to left center, one to right center, pretty much exactly in the middle of those two outfielders. Absolutely no chance at that off the bat, so Gonzalez could get an early jump without even having to tag up.
So another runner on second, and the lineup is flipped over for Nick McLean, who's 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch.
Got beamed in the head.
Pinson throws back to second. One that got away from Pinson and put him into a Two strikes, Landon by. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Bottom of the fifth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri, Kitei. And Enzo Apodaca leads off, trying to bring his team back into a game that they now trail by 2 in. First pitch is swung on and missed from Casey Talent for strike one.
Apodaca batting .300 in the Cape so far.
0-1 drops low 2 on 1 ball, 1 strike. He was 0 for his first 8 before going on a heater. He's 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right.
2 of his 6 hits are doubles.
1-1, backdoors in for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Apodaca, the Gonzaga Bulldog, choked up on the bat. The offering, outside ball 2. Top of the order on deck for YD. RJ Austin is 1 for 2. Into the wind, Talent's pitch. Lined up the middle, base hit. Apodaca shoots it right through the center of the infield. And he's got his first hit of the day. YD retakes the hit lead at 6-5. And that flips the lineup over to RJ Austin in the 1 spot for YD. Single his last time up to the plate, got caught stealing back in the 3rd.
Austin had a similar hit to Apodaca's, just a hard hit liner that touches the ground at the edge of the infield through the gaps. That one was just shot up the middle. Great contact from Apodaca.
It's going to spell the end of the day for Casey Talent. Wareham's going to call to their bullpen here in the bottom of the 5th. It's 3-1 Gatemen with the top of the YD order coming up. RJ Austin at the plate when we return here on the Cape League Bottom of the 5th inning, and a new pitcher takes the ball for Wareham. It's Lucas Malstedt, the side-arming righty, to face the top of the YD order. R.J. Austin up to the plate for the Red Sox. Malstedt out of Wofford. In his first season playing summer ball in college. Austin fakes bunt, pulls it back, and takes on the corner for strike one.
A true sidewinder. This one really swings across the plate. Malstedt, the righty, truly releases from that slot, horizontal with the ground.
Snap throw over to first. It's appeared in 2 games thus far, both in relief for Wareham. Most recently, 3 days ago on June 19th, 2 innings against Brewster in a 4-4 tie. No runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts. Pitch to Austin, fouled to the side. Previously played way back on June 13th. Just 1 inning against Harwich. Also did not give up any runs or hits and no walks. So limited innings, just 3 for him so far in this Cape League season, but has not given up a base runner yet. Inherits one here in the bottom of the 5th. His team out to a 2-run lead. 0-2 to Austin, swing and a miss on a pitch way outside the zone. Austin just did not track that one correctly, and so he goes down for the strikeout, 4th of the game by Wareham pitching.
That was just a defensive swing from Austin. He thought it was closer. You could see him just throw his hands at it at the last second. It wasn't a real swing by any means, and he just didn't realize that it was fully out of the path of his bat, very much in the opposite batter's box. So a nice pitch from Malstedt really comes across the plate, and Austin was fooled.
First pitch to Darby is pushed foul. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit and a strikeout. Yesterday, Darby was 2 for 4 after previously being hitless in his limited time as a member of the Red Sox. 0-1 clips the corner for strike 2. Malstedt hanging the right arm. Set on the bump. 0-2 pitch. Swings just inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Malstedt, one of the best defensive pitchers in college baseball. He was announced 2 days ago as one of 3 finalists by Rawlings for the Division I Gold Glove Award for the pitching position. 1-2 misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a great year for Wofford. Went 7-2, 2.69 ERA. Dropped his ERA compared to the season before by over 5.5 points. 27 appearances all out of the pen. 2-2 comes in for ball 3, and he's at risk potentially now of giving up his first base runner here in the Cape League in his 3rd appearance. Had 6 saves for the Terriers. Pitched 83 in 2/3 innings this spring. 3-2. Lined out to deep center field. Racing back. Stevenson at the track. Reaches up. Makes the catch. Retreating to first. Apodaca will get back there. Now there's 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
A little bit of a run out there from Stevenson. Apodaca was almost all the way to second, hoping that one was going to drop. It did not, so forced to retreat back to first for Max Vieira, now at the plate with 2 outs on.
He's reached base both times he's been up. First pitch strike from the sidewinding Luke Malstedt. Vieira walked back in the 1st and then singled. Got to 3rd in the 4th and then was thrown out as part of a force play at home. 0-1 off the end of the bat, foul.
Malstedt quickly getting ahead in these counts for all the batters he's faced.
Ahead here, 0-2. Trying to work a perfect inning in relief after inheriting Enzo Apodaca on first. Small lead from Apodaca, and he's back easily with the runner check. 0-2 to Vieira. Swing and a foul ball. Might have hit off the exposed hand there of Campos, who was shaking it out behind the plate.
Almost caught for a foul tip, but barely dropped by Campos.
Outfield is shifted towards the opposite field for Max Vieira. Stevenson out in center towards the right center gap. Another 0-2 on the way. He holds off. That one slides to the other batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As with a lot of side armors, a lot of sweeping movement from right to left for the righty Luke Malstead. 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Luke Malstead comes in relief and shuts the door on YD in the bottom of the 5th. And it's still 3-1 Gatemen. We head to inning number 6 from Red Wilson. As we step aside, it's 3-1 Wareham here on the Cape League broadcast. Top 6 from Red Wilson, 3-1 Wareham leading YD. Middle of the order coming up for the Gatemen. Grant Hussey leads off. He's 0 for 2. First look he'll get at Landon Beidelshees, who came in partway through the last inning. YD brings the shift in. Lefty on lefty. Swinging a foul tip on the first pitch for strike 1. Hussey quickly back in. Now Beidelshees winds the 0-1 offering. Burns the outside corner for strike 2.
Hussey is just a true representative of the state of West Virginia. He was born and raised there, attends West Virginia, was the USA Today West Virginia Player of the Year in high school.
0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couple of Division I baseball programs in the state of West Virginia. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Beidelshees gets another strikeout. He had 2 in the last inning, his first of work here in his second. He records the first out of the inning. Garen Caulfield flips it over to the right side now, working with the tri-colored bat. Beidelshees' first offering to him. Down near the feet, he slides away for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Misses down low for ball 2. Caulfield is 1 for 2 with a single back in the second inning. Pitch on the way, that misses for ball 3. Whitey bullpen is empty. 3 balls, no strikes. Beidelshees went 4 innings his last time out in relief. The 3-0 pitch misses beneath the zone for ball 4. First walk dealt out by Landon Beidelshees. Smith Pinson gave 1. That's the 3rd free pass overall, counting the hit by pitch that YD pitching has allowed. And now Zach Stewart digs into the lefty box.
I have to wonder how many times when he says his name, Garen Caulfield gets a catcher in the rye reference.
This ball is hammered out towards right field, up the line. Casey Cook coming around, sliding. That's a fair ball, and it drops in. Cook fires a bullet to second, and it's not in time. It was dropped there by the shortstop, Max Vieira. Very close play there at second. A long single. Caulfield didn't know whether or not that ball was going to be caught. Cook slid over to it and gave it his best shot. But if he was running with contact, it's not unfair to say he might have scored on that. Just had to wait to see. So the catch was made, or the catch was not made rather, as we get a pinch runner now over on first base for Zach Stewart. They're on first and second. And the batter at the plate, Dorian Gonzalez, has reached base twice. He's got a walk, a double, and 2 of the 3 runs for Wareham. Foul tips the first pitch into the glove for strike 1.
Looks like it might be Landon Wallace out there, number 12. I can't quite see the lettering.
Pretty early sub here for Ryan Smith. Framed on the outside corner by King. That's strike 2 against Dorian Gonzalez. Miami Hurricane. Oh, 2 pitch. Way up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Gonzalez led off the 2-run 5th with a huge double out to that left center gap.
1-2 deal. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Landon Beidelshees. And there's 2 out now in the top of the 6th. Josh Stevenson making his way up. 2 for 2 on the day with the 2 simplest parts of the cycle, the single and the double. Scored Wareham's final run to this point back in the last inning. Takes the first pitch below the zone for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Max Vieira covering the second base bag from short. This one hit pretty well out towards deep right field. Cook going back at the wall. It's off the fence. 1 run is in. Getting the wave sign. Here comes the relay home, and it was in time, but King dropped the ball. And the second run scores. It's a 2 RBI double for Josh Stevenson. And Wareham takes a 5-1 lead here in the top of the 6th.
Really makes you wonder. Stevenson having a career day here for the Gatemen, 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a single. He only had 10 at-bats all year for LSU. Now, LSU is one of the best teams in the country, obviously, competing in one of the final rounds of the World Series tonight. But someone capable of hitting like that, it's just crazy to think about how someone like that can't even get playing time.
Nick McLean pops the first pitch up and away, foul for strike 1. LSU still alive. We mentioned earlier on he's in the transfer portal, so that's why he's not with the Tigers in Omaha. They're taking on Wake Forest tonight in a big-time matchup between Rhett Lauder and Paul Skeens. 0-1 foul tipped into the glove. Maybe the 2 best pitchers in all of college baseball this year going at it on the biggest stage in the College World Series. Those 2 along with the Florida Gators, teams that are still alive. Meanwhile, McLean down 0-2, and he swings and misses for strike 3. So the double from Josh Stevenson brings in 2 more insurance runs for the Gatemen, and they now lead 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Whitey's got plenty of base runners, but they need runs. We'll see if they can get them when we come back. You're watching Whitey Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the sixth between the Sox and the Gatemen. It's 5-1, Wareham on top. Anthony Martinez, who has scored YD's only run to this point, up at the dish. He's 1 for 2. Base hit coming back in the fourth. Luke Malstead back out there for the Gatemen. First pitch going the opposite way towards the YD bullpen. Drops foul.
Almost hit someone out there. His teammates on the bench didn't even move.
Everyone had their backs turned for the most part. 0-1 misses down and away. Malstead faced 3 batters in the last inning. K'd 2 of them, got a fly out to the third. 1-1 below the zone for ball 2.
YD has 6 hits, just 1 run to show for it. Meanwhile, the Gatemen 7 hits and 5 runs to show for it.
2-1 swing and a miss. Martinez way out in front of that one, and the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Will King on deck for the Red Sox, followed by Casey Cook. A breath in the 2-2. Lifted out towards right field, coming over. McLean rather casually. He is underneath it, and he makes the catch with the right hand for out number 1. One up, one down. And Malstead has retired all 4 he's faced so far. Will King up to the plate. YD has kind of just lost all the momentum, it seems like. And King rips this one to short right at Bozer, who makes the catch for out number 2. First pitch swinging, and King records the second out of the inning. Now things move to Casey Cook to try and avoid the 1-2-3. YD went in order in the second. Casey Talent, the starter for the Gatemen, faced the minimum in the third. Gave up a hit, but got a caught stealing. Pitch misses off the corner for ball 1 to Cook, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fielder's choice. Last time he came up, it was with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. This one pushed foul. Really feels like YD may be pained by only scoring 1 run in that 4th inning when they had the bases loaded. 1-1 comes in on Cook, and he takes for ball 2. Cook, a guy who has a very interesting batting stance. He's choked up in the lefty box. 2-1 is in there for strike 2. Says he doesn't like to hold the bat at the very bottom just because he finds it uncomfortable to have the knob there, and he also brings his bat partway down. 2-2 outside for ball 3. Says that when he loads, he tends to bring the bat back, and when he was just holding his bat normally, he was bringing it so far back it was making his swing too long, so he's compensated by pulling it down a bit. The payoff, lifted up foul behind home plate, now to play. Hitting .227, 5 for 22 coming into this game. Late addition to this roster. 3-2. Off the end of the bat, 2-hopper to third, fielded on the pick by Gonzalez, and he will throw to first. Long stretch by Hussey, but he's got it, and that retires the side. Red Sox don't generate anything in the bottom of the 6th. It's still 5-1 Gatemen. To the 7th we go from Red Wilson. Stay tuned here on the
Top of the 7th inning, and time is running out for the Red Sox, who trail the Gatemen 5-1, thanks to 7 hits and 1 error on the part of the Sox. It's Sebastian Murillo back at the plate. He's 0 for 3 today with a fly out and 2 strikeouts. And he watches strike 1 from Beidelshees, who has had a solid outing on the day, but's given up 3 doubles. This one a big swing and a miss from Murillo, strike 2. Beidelshees has gotten ahead in the count like this multiple times, but these Gatemen have just battled back. That one, however, a called strike 3, so 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Beidelshees retires the first batter he faces in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, the strikeouts have been there for Beidelshees throughout first couple innings of this outing. He's really been good in getting ahead in counts. Has gotten a couple tough hits off him, but the strikeouts have certainly been there.
Vieira shuffling over towards his right, but this one grounded up towards first. Gleed has it, decides to toss it to Beidelshees instead of just running it out himself, but regardless makes the play, out number 2. That's the second time we've seen Gleed pick it up right behind the base, and it feels like he just moves slowly towards that bag. Interesting decision making for sure, but very quickly 2 have been retired in the top of the 7th. It's Bobby Bozer at the plate. 3 strikeouts for him on the day, 2 looking, 1 swinging. Beidelshees trying to add to that. Sends a first pitch strike right on the inside corner. The 0-1 on the way, misses low for ball 2. Counts 1-1. Bowser swings at this, fouls it back and out of play. Check swing. Did not go around, and the count evens up 2-2. Bozer trying to stop Beidelshees from facing the minimum here in the top of the 7th. He's almost hit. Walks it off a little bit, and the count runs full. I actually don't know how that pitch didn't hit him. It just maybe went right under his hips. But Beidelshees avoids the free pass. There is a conversation happening between the home plate umpire and Bozer, and it looks like it might have clipped him, so he's taking the job down to first base, maybe caught a piece of his leg. Honestly, looking at that, I didn't really see any space between the ball and him, but there wasn't any hard contact either, so our home plate umpire made the decision that a piece of it caught his leg, and Bozer gets the free pass down to first.
Tough 2-striker with 2 outs for Beidelshees to hit a guy, but need to rebound here. It's got to be nothing but zeros from here on out.
A sharp foul ball up the first base line on the first pitch of Grant Hussey's at bat.
Almost killed his first base coach.
Honestly, quick reaction from him standing over there to duck out of the way, but that's strike number 1. Strike 2, the off-speed clips the top of the zone. Another 0-2 count to start things off for Beidelshees. 0-2, 2 outs, pickoff move towards first. Has it back now. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. No shift in play. Just clips the outside corner, a called strike 3. Hussey goes down, and Beidelshees retires the inning in 4, but YD has some clawing back to do. They're losing 5-1 at Red Wilson Field, heading to the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. Dub Gleed leading things off, facing Luke Malstedt back, the sidewinder. It's a righty on righty matchup, so these pitches will be sweeping across the plate away from Gleed. Swings at the first one, fouled back on top of it. The advantage in this situation goes to Malstedt. The 0-1 outside in the opposite batter's box. YD is going to have to show patience at the plate. Malstedt has gotten them swinging on a few balls way outside, such as that one. Looked like Gleed might offer at it, but held off at the last second. Brady Day, the second baseman, on deck. Gleed 0 for 1 today. Does have a sac fly. He's responsible for YD's only run. Count evens up 2-2 on the called strike. Gleed way at the front of the box. Swings at this one, grounded up towards short, moving slowly. Throw on the way in time. And it's the 6-3 routine out from Bozer to Hussey. And Gleed is retired.
Out of Kansas State, number 10, Brady Day.
Brady Day also 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout, swinging and a ground out. Trying to start a rally for the Red Sox. Shows bunt and pulls back. The ball gets past Campos behind the plate. He asks for a new one. Day, the lefty. Another passed ball from Malstedt, but no harm, no foul. There's no runners on base. Day up in the count, 2-0, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. The Red Sox trail by 4. It's 5-1 at Red Wilson Field. Pitch on the way, clips the outside for strike 1. Brady Day, the Kansas State Wildcat, takes this one inside. Malstedt really locating these pitches well. We've seen him clip the outside and the inside, and on those strikeout pitches, doesn't leave it anywhere close to the plate. That one misses by inches for ball 3, and the count runs full.
See if he goes back to that same pitch here at 3-2. Just tries to get a little more up.
Day fouls this one back and out of play. Defensive swing offered at it late. Seventh pitch of the at-bat on the way. And Day grounds it up the middle. That's a base hit. Right through that 6-4 gap. And the Red Sox have a runner on. But they've had some runners on today and haven't really brought them around. They've been plagued by stranding runners. But it's Enzo Apodaca, whose last hit was almost identical to the one Day just sent through the middle. Day, a generous lead on first. Apodaca holds off on ball 1.
This is a good part of your order, though, for a rally if you're looking for one. You've got a runner on base now for Apodaca, who's been a solid 9-hole hitter. You have a chance to turn the lineup over to R.J. Austin, who's had a really good start.
Daga. Malstedt finds the zone for strike 1. Day takes his lead, now shuffles back to the base. The lead again, not very big. The 2-1. Chopped up towards first, and it's in the glove of Malstedt. A nice little toss from Hussey to Malstedt, and he beats out Apodaca by a step. That one hung up in the air for so long, but a good play from Hussey charging over on it. Makes the little handoff to Malstedt, and he, unfortunately for YD, won the foot race up that first baseline. Day does advance, a runner in scoring position. However, 2 outs are on for R.J. Austin. Austin 1 for 3 today in his first at bat. He grounded out, then sent one on the ground through a gap for a hit. Since then, struck out in his last one. Takes the first strike of this at bat. Counts 1-1 with 2 outs. Day on second. Darby on deck if it gets there. Big cut and miss from Austin. Nodding his head. His last at bat, he offered and struck out swinging on a ball in the lefty's batter's box. You could see the regret immediately. Just mistimed it. Malstead wanted a pickoff move towards second, but there was no one actually covering the bag. A ball and 2 strikes. Austin holds up on this one. You could see he almost jumped on it. The same pitch would have gotten him twice, but learned from his last mistake. Across the board. And ball 3 misses just low. Good discipline from Austin, waiting on that one, dropped. Right before the zone, the full count, 2 outs. The runner will go on the pitch. And Austin fouls it towards the YD dugout. To stay alive. Day has a jump on this, so anything on the ground or to the outfield, Brady Day will likely score. Depends if Austin can get him there. The 3-2. Grounded foul up the first base line. A solid defensive at-bat so far. Austin sporting the black helmet and the yellow gloves, some gold cleats, the colors of the Vanderbilt Commodores. Another 3-2 pitch. This one swung on and missed. Strike number 3, and the side is retired. We head to the top of the 8th. The Gatemen lead 5-1. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape. Top of the 8th, and the Gatemen just trying to protect their lead at this point, maybe add on some more insurance runs. It's Garen Caulfield leading things off, number 20, facing Vital Sheets, who throws a first pitch ball in the dirt. This one has been solidly going Wareham's way since the beginning. They were the first to score. It was tied at 1, and since then, 4 have been added on after relentless hitting and some fielding mistakes from the Red Sox. Caulfield rips this one over to short right to the glove of Max Vieira. That's out number 1. Very hard hit ball, can't find a gap, and Vieira snags it. So 2 outs left in the inning.
Next up, out of West Virginia, number 12, Landon Wallace.
And Wallace swings at the first pitch on the ground up towards first. Gleed misses it. He couldn't pick it up out of his glove, then tried to toss it over to Beidelshees. And it just wasn't in time. And to be honest, Luke, I think that might be one of those plays that Coach Pickler is talking about where he feels his players just aren't really trying very hard on defense. Gleed not moving quickly over there at first base. He doesn't normally play first base. It's not somewhere he's used to being on the field, but regardless, that's the second error today. One on Day, one on him. Beidelshees causes a swing and a miss for Dorian Gonzalez.
It's not been a pleasant past couple of days for this team, to say the least.
Runner goes on second, throw on the way from King, and the runner is safe. And now called out, Vieira kept the tag on, and the change of call comes from our second base umpire. The runner stayed standing, and Vieira caught it about at his waist.
What the heck just happened?
I'm not exactly sure why the call was changed on that. It did look like Stewart snuck in there on time. It was a close enough play. Maybe he stepped off the bag and Vieira still had the tag on.
Let's go, Cheese!
So Stewart, who reaches on the error, is caught stealing. And now the count's 1-1 to Dorian Gonzalez, who's 1 for 2, also has a walk. Fouls a pitch back for strike number 2. Two outs, 2 strikes, and a pass ball that could have been dangerous if Stewart was still on base, but he's not. The base paths are empty. Count evens up, 2s across the board in the top of the 8th. Pitch on the way, chopped up towards second. Day sprinting over to first, and he beats out the runner. Gleed again in the wrong position. Went over to try to field that on his own. Day calls him off and turns on the Jets to beat out Gonzalez down the line. I think there's going to be a conversation to be had there, but Brady Day gets it done for the Red Sox. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox will go 2-3-4 when we come back on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network. It's the bottom of the 8th. We'll have a new pitcher on the mound, but first, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox want to thank Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists for sponsoring this broadcast. Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists provide premier emergency and specialty care for your beloved companions. They are located in Dennis and Buzzards Bay and are open 24 hours a day. So for those of you pet lovers out there, you know where to go. If anything goes wrong, it's Daniel Frontera on the mound, number 51 for the Gatemen. who, according to Luke, just had an excellent run of things in the Big East tournament prior to arriving here on the Cape.
And part of Seton Hall's all-Jersey battery, native of Red Bank, New Jersey. His dad played for Seton Hall in the 90s with their current head coach, Rob Shepard, who was Big East Coach of the Year this year. Pirates had really strong year, qualified for the Big East tournament for first time in a little while. Max Vieira due up second in this inning. That's his teammate over at Seton Hall.
Definitely an interesting quirk of summer ball is playing against people that you're so used to being on the same side as, but it's Xander Darby, the Gaucho out of UCSB, leading things off here. Darby 1 for 3, a single in his first at-bat. Swings at this one, flies it towards left field. Coming in on it is Stewart, makes the grab. And out number 1 is recorded on 1 pitch from Frontera.
That's about as good as things can start for a relief pitcher. You only throw 1 pitch, get that first out. That's how you settle into your outing, getting that first out, and now the teammate battle begins.
Vieira holds off on a called strike 1. He is 1 for 2 on the day, so he does have a hit in every game he started. None yesterday, but he only came in as a pinch hitter. Swings at this one, foul and out of play. So he's quickly down 0-2 to Daniel Frontera with an out already. Score remains 5-1. The 0-2 high and outside, ball 1.
Frontera's got a very, very strong 12-6 curveball. See if he tries to bury it here and get a swing and miss in the dirt.
The 0-2 hit up the middle towards second. Caulfield has it, and Vieira can't beat it out. There was a slight shift going, and those middle infielders were pinched to the middle, perfectly placed to pick that one up. Frontera gets the contact on his first 2 batters faced. Both of them retired quickly, and the Gatemen seemingly have everything in control at the moment for Anthony Martinez. Counts 1-0 to Martinez. Takes ball 1. Fouls it. Back and out of play. Counts 1-1. Inside, almost hits him. Ball 2. The 1-2 defensively put out of play over on that left side. Barely even touched it and still lined pretty hard. Out of play over there. Hope nobody was in the way of that ball. Counts 2-2. And ball 3 sails above the zone, so the count runs full. Martinez 1 for 3, a fly out, a single, and a strikeout swinging. And ball 4 gets away past Campos. So YD has a base runner for Will King, who has been in a little bit of a slump himself recently. He is 1 for 3 on the day, however, he did have that bloop single over to right field that just got past the glove of Caulfield earlier this game. Martinez scored the 1 run that the Red Sox have today. Frontera paints the outside corner for strike 1. Strike 2, nearly identical, and King down 0-2 with 2 outs on. The big tomahawk wind-up from King getting into his stance. He's now set, as is Frontera. The 0-2 just misses outside for ball 1. Bit of an off speed on that, just floated over the top of the zone, and if that lefty batter's box was trying to get King to reach for it. The count is 1-2. Frontera deals, and King holds off on the same pitch, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 4-run deficit. And ball 3 is just outside as well, so the count runs full. Will King went down 0-2, has since taken 3 straight balls.
And looking into the Whitey dugout, it looks like 2 batters from now, Doug Gleed might be getting pinch hit for.
King skies this one towards shallow right field. And just out of play in foul territory, McLean makes a long run in. That ball just hung up there forever to make the grab. A quick inning for the Red Sox. They'll only have 3 outs left in a 4-run deficit. And first, Wareham has a chance to tack on some more. We head to the top of the 9th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod. We've reached the last inning. It's the top of the 9th, and Josh Stevenson, who's 3 for 3 with a single and 2 doubles on the day, leading things off against Beidel Shees, who returns to the mound, trying to retire Stevenson for the first time today. But ball 1 in the dirt. Stevenson in some very neutral colors, black and gray, as he is currently in the transfer portal, as mentioned earlier. This one grounded up the middle, and Day can't get a glove on it. A hard hit ball takes a 1-hop right underneath Day's glove. So Stevenson now 2 singles and 2 doubles. He's 4 for 4.
It's been a really, really, really good day for him. He was struggling coming into this, just 1 for 9, but that'll inflate the average nice and heavy. 4 for 4 performance, and a big reason why Wareham is where they are in this game.
Brings up Nick McLean, who's 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch in the head very early on in this game, so he's reached base once. 1 ball, no strikes to him, no outs. Stevenson a big lead. King takes a look over there, but tosses it back to Beidel Shees. No shift on for McLean. Murillo on deck. This is the top of the order. And Stevenson also having a 4 for 4 day, batting in the 9th spot. Lead covering first. And ball 3 misses outside. Count moves to 3-1. Not much action over in the YD bullpen. It seems this will be Beidelshe's game. The 3-1 hit out of play by McLean. Really wrapped around that ball on the inside corner. Impressive contact, but pulled very sharply left. Runner goes, and it's skied out towards center. Stevenson might be forced to retreat. Apodaca makes the grab. Stevenson back over to first. So the hit and run does not work out. Stevenson still on first, out number 1 for the Red Sox. Another athletic play for Menzo Apodaca out in center, making the long run over, catching that almost by the shoelaces.
It's been a wall out there in center field. I think he's definitely been the best defensive player this season for YD, especially in the outfield.
There's no one even that comes close, honestly, to Apodaca's performance in the field. It's Sebastian Murillo in the 2 spot, 0 for 4 on the day with a fly out and 3 strikeouts, 2 swinging, 1 looking. A day to forget for him, but could do his part here. Swings and misses for strike 1. Stevenson really looks ready to run out on first. Bunt is shown and laid down. King has it. Ball is fair. Runner advances to second. A nice bunt from Murillo, stayed right inside that dirt semicircle right in front of home plate. Probably would have liked it to roll a little bit further to give him a chance to leg it out, but he does not. Advances the runner. Stevenson on second, Murillo with the sacrifice bunt. First pitch swung through and missed for Campos, the catcher. 1 for 4 today with a liner in his first at-bat. A line out, I should say, in his first at-bat. A single in his third. That's where the 1 came in. Counts 1-1 to Campos with Stevenson on a second. Wareham leads YD 5-1. That's been the score since the 5th inning. Swings through and misses again. Beidelshe's has him with 2 strikes. It's 1-2. Wareham struck first in the 3rd. It was 1-0. YD got one back in the 4th and tied it up. Since then, it has been the Gatemen show. The 1-2 high and away for ball 2. Vieira over on second, covering the runner. 2-2 on the way, fouled back just off the tip of the bat. Count stays the same. The 2-2. The shoulders moved, but the bat did not, so Campos holds off. Count runs full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Stevenson will be running on the pitch. Already starting now. Campos grounds it up. Foul up the first baseline. Gleed had it in his glove. However, did cross into foul territory a ways before the bag. Campos now awaits the 8th pitch of this at-bat, quality at-bat. Payoff on the way Fouled back again. Can't find that barrel contact off Beidelshees, who's continuing to work up and around the zone. Beidelshees checks on Stevenson. The pitch, fouled back again.
Campos just will not let this end. Beidelshees is hammering away at the zone right now and just can't get that swing and miss he's looking for.
Or even get that ball put in play. 4 fouls in this at-bat. Another 3-2 pitch. Clips the top of the zone. A called strike 3. Beidelshees ends the inning. The Gatemen strike 0 on the board in the 9th, and YD has 3 outs left with a 4-run deficit. It's 5-1 Wareham as we head to the bottom of the 9th. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod broadcast.
Yep.
A pinch hitter to lead things off in the 9th. It's Hunter Hines, who we have not seen today. The first time we haven't seen him today as a member of the active roster for the YD Red Sox. The power hitter out of Mississippi State, who just finished up his sophomore year. Lays off on the first pitch for ball 1.
A game that has been largely deflating for this YD team. They haven't had a lot of momentum. Something happened in the dugout in between the 9th. They've been pretty rowdy to start off this 9th.
Ball 2 misses just inside. Hines displaying patience to start things off. Was in a bit of a slump himself, but his last at-bat in yesterday's game went for a double on the ground up the first base line. Swings at this one, hammers it towards right field, but it's skied too far in the air. Coming over is McLean, called off by the center fielder Stevenson. So Hines under it, as he has been so many times for the times he has been put out. And the Red Sox are down to their last 2.
Out of Western Illinois, number 6, Nick Mitchell.
Nick Mitchell, pinch hitting, freshly in the transfer portal as of today.
Holds off on ball 1. That flies above the zone. Moving quickly, Frontera, pitch number 2 inside. Campos taking his time getting it back to him, but when Frontera has it on the mound, he is moving quickly, not really giving those batters much time to reset. Counts 2-0 to Nick Mitchell. That one finds the zone for strike 1. The 2-1 in the dirt, pass ball. That's 3 balls and a strike. The 3-1 to Mitchell, flies above the zone, and YD has a base runner. Mitchell starting off the rally for the Red Sox as Brady Day strides up to bat.
State number 10, Brady Day.
Mitchell has also come in some late game situations as a pinch runner. I wouldn't be surprised to see a steal attempt here from Coach Pickler, who we've seen will really try anything at this point. The lead from Mitchell, first pitch today, clips the outside for strike 1. Day swings through, strike 2, and he's down in the count. That one, the off speed just stayed up at the top of the zone. Day slightly underneath it. Makes good contact with this one out towards left field, and it drops fair in the third baseline. Sprinting around second, Mitchell heading to third. And Brady Day has a double. Nick Mitchell on third, just 1 out for the Red Sox. Brings up Enzo Apodaca. Great contact from Brady Day. Stewart was shifted over towards the middle, forced to make the sprint over to the third base line. Brady Day is having himself a day. He's 2 for 5.
And his last 2 at-bats, just really nice pieces of hitting that time, just going up the line and just throws it where the outfielders are, and a ball that's hit high enough in the air that if it's anywhere but up the lines, it's probably caught, but put it in the perfect spot.
Apodaca swings at the first pitch of his at-bat and fouls it out of play. Now with 2 runners in scoring position. Still a 4-run deficit, so the tying run is represented by RJ Austin on deck. This one just clips the bottom of the zone. A little hop of indignation from Apodaca in the lefty batter's box. And the count is 0-2. With 1 out. Apodaca has to play defense now. Frontera pitching from the stretch. Check swing. Did not go around for ball 1. He's cleared on the appeal.
Ooh, man, that's difficult to not swing on. Was a tough one to watch and just wait to see what the call was going to be there. That ball was very close to falling into the top part of the zone.
Counts 1-2 to Apodaca. Lines this one on the ground up towards first, and an error from the Gatemen brings a run around to score. Day rounds third and makes it home, so the YD Red Sox get 2 back. Apodaca hard hit on the ground up the first base line, and Hussey just can't control it. Dribbles into right field, and that allows time for Day to round second. The score is 5-3.
This team won't go away. It's been a disappointing past couple of games. It's been a disappointing first 8 innings here of the third game, but YD, we've seen them do this before at home, and they were benefited by some errors there too. They got the tying run at the plate, and it's a man who's been red hot in RJ Austin.
Ball 1 outside for Austin, who's 1 for 4 on the day. Really had a tough time facing the sidewinder, the last pitcher, but now facing a new pitcher, and Daniel Frontera. His coach at Vanderbilt has really described him as someone who puts so much effort into his game, works really hard. He's just scrappy, gets things done, and will fight for his team right now. The count is 1-0 to RJ Austin, the Commodore. Strike 1 just on top of the zone. Counts even 1-1. 1 out for Apodaca. The score is 5-3. Austin holds off on a ball that just misses. And the count is 2-1.
But the guy who's good enough at going the opposite way, that gap looks huge on the right side of the infield.
That one might have looked low. Austin, Maddie didn't swing at it. It's a called strike 2, so the count evens up. The 2-2 from Frontera. Held off. And a called ball 3, a dangerous hold from Austin. I think he thought that would be a called strike 3. Very similar to the last pitch that was called a strike, but not this time. Count runs full, 1 out, runner on first. Austin holds off and he walks. A free base for the Red Sox. 2 runners aboard now for Xander Darby.
See if we get a coach out of the dugout here for Wareham. It looks like they're just going to hold, and the bad news for the Gatemen is that they have just rushed a pitcher up there. There was nobody up in the pen, so Frontera's at least got to kind of hold things together with duct tape for now, because nobody's hot out there.
Darby holds off on the first pitch curveball that just drops at the last second. Does have a hit on the day in his first at-bat. Since then, a strikeout swinging and 2 flyouts. Still just 1 out. A double play would end the game, as we saw a few days ago. This one skied and out of play, foul territory. Count quickly runs to 0-2 for Darby. These players have suffered through this mist all day. Daylight beginning to wane. It's about 7:30 p.m. The 0-2. Just missed the bottom of the zone, ball 1. A nice hold from Darby. Good eye at the plate. A big lead from Austin on first. Not really covered over there on the bag. Smaller lead from Apodaca, playing things safe. Counts 1-2 to Xander Darby. Pitch on the way, inside, ball 2, count evens up. A little bit of noise starting up here at Red Wilson. It's been a pretty quiet day, but the loyal fans who have stuck it out, bared the weather, clapping and cheering on the team right now. A team that has won comeback walk-off victory already. Fouled back again. Darby just continues to fight.
You really, 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 really want to get Max Vieira up. He's on deck. And if you're Xander Darby and you can advance the 2 into scoring position by getting a ball in play.
This one grounded up towards second. Could be a double play opportunity. Instead, plays it safe from Caulfield. Just swings it over to 1. So the runners do advance. And there's 2 outs for Max Vieira. Those 2 runners do represent the tying runs for the Red Sox. All of a sudden, this is a game, and Max Vieira could make things interesting.
Cape League's expected batting average leader, Max Vieira. And this is the spot where you need the contact hit. Just a base knock could do it. Outfield's playing pretty deep here for Wareham.
Apodaca and Austin both very speedy. Both will score on anything that gets past this infield. First pitch on the way. High, ball 1. Anthony Martinez is on deck. The other expected batting average warrior of this team. If you could pick anywhere in the lineup to be, this is it. In this moment, counts 1-0 to Max Vieira. Strike 1 clips the outside, count evens up. Counts 1-1, 2 outs. Vieira offers, swings through, strike 2.
It's a nice off speed, just tugged it away from Vieira. Had to swing, it looked good, but ends up out of range of that bat.
The Red Sox are down to their final strike. Vieira fouls it away, out of play. Fighting off these pitches, doing anything for his team right now. The Seton Hall first team All Big East selection has been unbelievable through these first few Cape games. And takes ball 2 in the lefty batter's box. Count is even for what feels like the millionth time today. It's 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, and 2 runners in scoring position for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th. Frontera deals ball 3. It gets away from Campos, but he keeps it in front. Got thrown off maybe on the bluff from Apodaca over at third. A full count with 2 outs. Martinez on deck.
You've got first base open, but you don't really want to walk a guy in this scenario because that puts the winning run on.
Vieira steps into the box. Holds off, ball 4. The bases are loaded for Anthony Martinez. A line drive machine.
And now things change a whole lot more because it goes from a single could potentially tie the game to now if you're Martinez, if you can put a ball in the gap here, you might be able to win it for YZ. And now we're going to see manager out of the dugout for Wareham.
We might have a call to the bullpen with just 1 out remaining in this game. Things have gotten real interesting in the bottom of the 9th after YD just could not find the gaps today. 2 errors in the field, but they've battled back in the 9th as they've had the tendency to do. There's been some late game heroics. So far, no movement in the bullpen.
Pitcher that's pitching out there is just kind of standing and looking in on this infield meeting with his hand on his hip, waiting for a sign, and Ryan Smith's heading back to the dugout. It looks like Daniel Frontera is going to try to get out of this himself.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. The ball is in Frontera's hands. Coach Pickler has a meeting in the infield with his base runners. A fresh count for Martinez, the lefty. 1 for 3 on the day. He scored the first run of the day for the Red Sox. He also has a walk, something that Frontera can no longer afford. The runners take their leads. Frontera puts the ball in his glove, and the first pitch on the way. In there for strike 1. Martinez shakes his head a bit. That was a pitch that he wishes he could swing at, but held off, just playing it safe. Swings at this one deep towards left field, but out of play. Exciting contact. But Martinez now down 0-2. Once again, YD up to their final strike. Pitch on the way, inside ball 1. Almost clipped him on the elbow. Can't give up a free bag right now. Anticipation coursing through this crowd. The 1-2. Hit foul again. Some guys jumping out of the way over there on the left side. Count remains 1-2. Every single time Martinez makes contact, the crack is just so loud. So much strength and power. Can he play hero today? Another 1-2. Fouled back again.
And now the Wareham outfield playing very deep. This is the prevent defense, preventing this ball from getting over their heads. They're not as concerned about a single tie in this game. They don't want Martinez to walk this off.
Another 1-2 pitch coming. Fouled back again. That one likely would have been ball 2. Just a defensive swing from Martinez keeps him alive.
He'll take whatever at this point. If you swing at a ball that's 2 feet outside the zone, as long as you can get a piece and keep the at-bat going, that's fine.
The whole YT team crowded as close as they can get on the edge of the dugout. And it almost hits him. Looked like it might have for a second. Martinez turns his back to the ball. Once again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners in scoring position. With Max Vieira on first base as well. Bases loaded. 2-2 on the way. Fouled back once again.
This is something else right now from Anthony Martinez. He looks very dialed in at the plate.
Martinez is a man on a mission. 4 foul balls in his at-bat so far. The count's 2-2. Wiggling that bat. Grounded up towards second. Caulfield has it, but it gets through. Another error for the Gatemen. A run coming around, and this game is tied. It's 5-5 in the bottom of the 9th. 2 errors from the Gatemen in this inning have given YD a chance to win this game. Anthony Martinez, a hard grounder to second, sneaks under the glove of Caulfield.
Goodness. That's really, really tough.
That's a heartbreaker for the Gatemen.
Man.
That should have been the end of the game, and instead the game is tied. Bottom of the 9th will at least see extra innings. And worst of all, Frontera in that meeting, we could see from the body language, told his coach, keep me in. I want to end this game, and that should have ended the game. Instead, it's 5-5, and the YD dugout is very cheerful right now.
YD's going to pinch hit Nathan Archer, and now we're going to see coach out of the dugout and Ryan Smith. And if there's anybody you feel for in this situation, it's Daniel Frontera. This in no way should be going on him right now. That's a tough way for his outing to end. Red Sox bring in Nathan Archer. We'll see if Coach Pick tries anything tricky on the bases, but they will do it against a different pitcher that will come into the game for Wareham as we're tied up at 5 in the 9th.
It's Will King out of Eastern Kentucky facing Tyler Dean out of Virginia Tech coming in relief. Wareham didn't think they'd need a relief pitcher coming into this inning. It had been zeros across the board since the fourth, and nothing was going YD's way. But the score is 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth after an incredible rally helped out by 2 errors from the Gatemen. Runners on the corners for Will King. The first pitch, ball sails above his head.
And the middle infield is pushed back for Wareham. It looks like if Scott Pickler eventually sends Nathan Archer from first, Wareham's going to smartly just give him the bag. He's not important over there on first.
Counts 2-0, ball 2 low and outside. King 1 for 4 on the day. Archer is swinging his arms, ready to jump. The 2-0 pitch. A bluff from Vieira. Ball 3 above his shoulders. Cheers from the dugout. I know there's no green light on right now.
See how long this goes. Dean coming out of the pen just trying to get a strike in there.
And does just barely on the outside corner.
It's a really good pitch. It's not a 3-0 right down the middle pitch, but that was painted on the corner.
The 3-1 to Will King. Outside, that's ball 4, bases loaded once again, and YD has gone through the lineup. It's Hunter Hines who led off the inning. He flew out in his first at-bat, put 1 out on, and since then it has been all YD, but Hines could end the game right now.
YD's going to pinch run, it looks like. Ryan Stafford is going to come in to run for Will King. And so now this is an interesting situation for Hunter Hines. So you've got the bases loaded, obviously, but with Dean coming into this game and being a little bit wild, this is what maybe Scott Pickler's telling him right now. I'm not sure what the approach is here. Do you let him just swing away? There are 2 outs, so the sac fly obviously isn't in order. Do you let him swing away right from the jump? Do you take until you get a strike? Just kind of play it by ear? We'll see.
So Stafford on first, Martinez second, Vieira the winning run on third. Hines holds off, strike 1 called. Dean finding his rhythm. Hines now gonna swing away for the game. Ball 1 high. Every single ball is getting a resounding cheer from the YD faithfuls here at Red Wilson Field. Counts 1-1 with 2 outs, bases loaded, tie ball game. And strike 2 just floats in off the top of the zone on the off speed.
It's a nice pitch, backdoor. And now Hines has to be defensive.
The count is 1-2. Hines swings away, chops it up the middle. It's slow rolling, but he can't beat out the throw. A faster runner maybe. So the inning is over. It's a tie ball game, and I didn't think we'd be saying this, but we head to the top of the 10th at Red Wilson Field. It's extra innings. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape Cod. Top of the 10th, the courtesy runner heading out. That will be, I thought it would be Ryan Campos because he was the last runner retired, but that would be number 9. And this is someone else, so we'll have that for you in a second. Maybe a substitution for Campos. I'm not really sure what these rules allow for this 10th inning with a runner on. There's all sorts of defensive substitutions going on right now for the Red Sox. Stafford replaced Will King behind the plate. Jacob Christian at first, and Cole Hillier, most importantly, on the mound, a new pitcher. Pickoff move towards second.
So Hillier may be worried about that pinch runner over there. We saw at the plate, Bozer showed bunt. I don't know if Hillier saw that because he turned around, but the bunt was shown. See if he goes back to it here.
Bunt is shown and foul, but a quick grab from Stafford showing off the glove work behind the plate. He's decked out in some pretty sweet golden black catcher's gear.
See if Hillier tries to bring something up and in here on Bozer to try and draw the bunt, get him to pop it up.
The count 0-1. Hillier checks the runner. The bunt shown again, this time laid down the third baseline. Hillier has it. Throw over to first in time to Jacob Christian. Looked like it might float up there in the air for a second, but Christian, standing at 6'5", was right there to make the grab. That's out number 1, but advances the runner to third base.
Did his job, and now Whitey's going to bring the infield in.
YD will do anything to prevent this run scoring right now. It's Grant Hussey at the plate. Hillier nods, looks at the runner, pitching from the stretch. Outside ball 1. Stafford feints at a pickoff attempt towards third, but a snap throw in this situation incredibly dangerous. Counts 1-0 to Grant Hussey. Fouled out of play, count evens up. Cole Hillier plays at Point Loma Nazarene University alongside his now first baseman, Jacob Christian, a Division II institution. Outside again, this time the snap throw does come to third, but not in time, a little high from Stafford. Hillier gets the swing and a miss, count evens at 2. In 2023, he was 5-2 in 23 appearances, all in relief. 41 innings pitched. Just outside ball 3, a full count with a runner on third.
You're not going to intentionally walk a runner, obviously, in this situation because it's the top of the inning, but this would set up the double play if the walk is issued.
Instead, a swing and a miss strike. Hussey goes down for out number 2. And Cole Hillier dancing around him in that strike zone. Strong start for him on the bump.
That's better than intentionally walking him.
I would say so.
You set up that double play, but there's always risk involved and maybe not turning it and having the run score. Strikeout's much safer if you can get it.
Caulfield holds off on a pitch just inside for ball 1. Hillier swinging that right arm. Pitch on the way. Clips the bottom of the zone, strike 1. The 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Hillier could end the inning and send it tied to the bottom of the 10th, giving the Red Sox yet another chance to walk it off. The only other time they've been in extra innings, it ended in a tie. Ball 2 misses outside. Counts 2-2 with 2 outs to Garen Caulfield. And a called strike 3 paints the bottom of the zone. Cole Hillier gets it done on the mound in relief. We head to the bottom of the 10th. 3 more outs for the Red Sox to win a game that seemed out of hand at points. But a miracle could happen in the bottom of the 10th when we come back on the It's the bottom of the 10th at Red Wilson Field as we've approached the last few minutes of daylight just in time to catch the ending of this game. Nick Mitchell at the plate and Jacob Christian on first, who has come in as a substitute for Hunter Hines. Christian hit the walk-off the last time the Red Sox had a miraculous 9th inning comeback. But right now it's Nick Mitchell at the plate, who came in last inning for his first pinch hit attempt.
Bit of a shaky pickoff move over there to second base from Dean.
I was going to say some jeers for the crowd about that one.
Mitchell's definitely going to bunt here. There was a chance that Wareham would intentionally walk him, but he's definitely laying this down, or at least trying to.
Pitch on the way, bunt shown, pulled back, ball 1. There's really no other logical strategy to go to when you start off with a runner in scoring position. You have to advance that runner in any way possible. The 1-0 to Mitchell is laid down up the third baseline. It's a beautiful bunt. Mitchell beats it out. The runner is safe. Nick Mitchell with the wheels legs it up the line. Runners on the corners for YD. Nobody out. That was perfection from Nick Mitchell.
Put it right up the line, and that's why we knew he was going to bunt, not just because, you know, common sense would tell you to do that to move the runner up, but because he could really put Wareham in a sticky situation by getting a bunt single, which he was very capable of doing clearly.
Brings up Brady Day, responsible for actually the only hit in the last inning. It was a double that scored 2. He shows bunt and pulls back. The ball almost gets past Campos behind the plate. Imagine that. Instead, the count's 1-0 to Brady Day, who's 2 for 4 on the day with a single and a double. And that winning run is Max Vieira. Excuse me, Jacob Christian on third. Ball 2 comes in high.
Wareham might be pitching around Day here to try and see if he'll chase, and then if he doesn't, just walk him and set up the force at home.
Instead, strike 1 finds the bottom of the zone. Nick Mitchell advances to second on the defensive indifference. No more force in play for the double possible play. Counts 2-1 to Brady Day. Winning run on third. And ball 3 is inside. The signs come in from Coach Pickler. Dean winds and deals. Top of the zone, full count. Three and two, no outs. Runners on second and third. A tie ball game at 5. And ball 4 misses. Low. Bases are loaded for Enzo Apodaca.
What a day for Brady Day. He's reached his last 3 times up. That's a clutch walk. If you strike out in this situation, it could really turn things around, because then you could be looking at something like putting Apodaca on for free in an inning-ending double play. Instead, now the bases are loaded for YD, and Enzo's got the game on his bat.
The force is in play all around the horn. First pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. Apodaca 1 for 4, had a single, but caused an error and reached his last time around. Almost hits him. Wareham was very close to losing this game on a hit by pitch. Counts 2-0 to Apodaca, who has been so critical defensively today and at the plate. Was part of that rally in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-0 outside. The count is 3-0. Another ball will end the ball game. Tyler Dean has to lock in right now to give the Gatemen any chance, but things have changed remarkably. Ball 4 upstairs. This game is over. Jacob Christian taps the bag, and YD completes the comeback. It was 5-1 heading into the bottom of the 9th, but they were resilient at the plate, stepping up, fouling off pitch after pitch, staying alive, full count after full count, and helped along by 2 errors from the Gatemen in the 9th. YD wins the game 6-5. They move to 6-4-1 on the year and remain in sole possession of second place in the East Conference.
What a game, what a comeback for YD, a team that just did not have anything going for them, it seemed like, going into that 9th inning, but mentioned it a little bit going into that 9th inning. Something changed. I don't know if it was something that was said in the dugout, something that Scott Pickler said, something that someone else said or did, but something clearly changed. You could tell from all the way up here that the vibe was very different going into that 9th. It had been kind of a sleepy rest of the game for this YD team, but they were very rowdy going into that inning and adamant that they were at least going to give this a good run. And they certainly did, tied it up, and then ended up winning it here in the 10th inning. This team has been mighty resilient. Their second late inning comeback here at Red Wilson Field this season, and a team that I think is in really good position to compete throughout the middle part of this year.
Absolutely, Luke, and they still did have 2 errors in the field today, down yesterday from 6, but it's really about the mentality stepping into the 9th inning, and we've seen that already multiple times this season. This team refuses to give up. In the 8th and 9th innings, they've trailed by now 3 and 4 runs in their 2 walk-off wins, respectively. And they now head to a 2-game stretch on the road before they'll be back home on Sunday. They face Brewster and Harwich the next 2 days. A lot of cheers coming from over on their side of the field. What a way to reward the fans that stood out here in the gloomy rain and cold all day. Such an incredible thing they just witnessed.
Yeah, everybody that stuck it out. This was a game that it just felt very groggy. It felt very tired. There wasn't much going on for YD. They weren't producing on the offensive side. They were facing a heavy deficit, and it felt like that was just how this game was going to ride out, and it was going to be another day, the third in a row, that just didn't really go their way, and something went wrong, and that things just weren't really clicking for them. And it's hard to flip a switch like they did in the middle of a game, but that was really, really impressive what we just witnessed in that 9th and 10th inning, and a well-deserved victory for this team.
Let's talk about Cole Hillier's pitching, coming in relief as well in that 10th inning. It's so hard not to give up a run when you start with a scoring runner on second. But he came in, ends it with a strikeout looking after the bunt that we expected, advanced the runner to third. Cole Hillier, ice in his veins. He gets the win today.
Yeah, Hillier's been really, really strong for YD. That was his second appearance of the season. He didn't give up a run the first time out. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's going to get a strikeout, maybe 2 per inning. He's one of those types of guys, but especially after that sacrifice bunt, that was what was most impressive. There's debate about whether or not, with the international rule in place, you come up in the top of the inning, whether or not you should bunt. Some people say yes, some people say no. Wareham elected to lay down that bunt and move the runner over to third, and it's just so difficult at that point to not give up the run. And the difference in this game was that YD didn't and Wareham did, and that was why the Red Sox were able to claim this victory. Hillier was phenomenal. You need that strikeout when that winning run, I should say, is just 90 feet away, and he had 2 of them to close out that 10th inning.
The Red Sox look to bring this momentum on the road with them, as we said, at Brewster tomorrow. Game time of 5:30 from Perri, Kitei, Luke West, Poley, and our producer Anna Tedeschi alongside. Thank you for watching YD Baseball on the Cape Cod Broadcast Network.